Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I've got a review of the Portland chainsaw, the 18-inch 42cc chainsaw they sell at Harbor Freight. And I'm here to tell you this is a great chainsaw. This is a wonderful chainsaw. I'd take this saw over that saw and probably that saw any day of the week. Now, having said that, I'm not a professional tree guy. Had these saws for a long time, about 10 years. I've definitely used them quite a bit. But the problem that I have with them is a couple of things. And the biggest problem is that in order for these things to run their best and to cut their best and to get the most longevity out of them, you need to run the Stihl bars and chains. I've tried every kind of different aftermarket one there is, and you're just wasting your money. And that's one of the biggest motivators I had buying this saw. I was tired of buying bars and chains. Both these saws need a bar and chain, and to put one on both of them is $200. Okay, I bought this whole saw for $150, and it blows the pants off that one right there. This is a Stihl 017. Now, to be fair, this is a 30cc saw, and this is 42cc saw. Okay, but you know, the price difference is, crazy. So that's a 57cc. This is the Stihl 290, MS 290. So you're looking at a $500 saw, you're looking at a $350 saw, you're looking at a $150 saw. Okay, and this one's got a bunch of stuff on it that I like better than Stihl. Okay, so let's start with that. First thing I like is that even though this says Portland, this is just an Oregon bar and chain. Okay, you can get Oregon bars and chains anywhere. Stihl bars and chains you can only get at authorized Stihl dealers, and in my area there's only one of them, and they never have that bar and chain in stock. They didn't have that bar and chain in stock last time I needed one either. That's why I had to go find what would fit at Tractor Supply. And nothing against the County Line brand, maybe they'll work great on other saws, but this one in particular, I don't know why, but the oiler doesn't seem to work good with this bar, and the oil never got to the chain in the bar, and it messed it up down here, and my chain's got a lot of slop in it because the grooves wore out. So when I try to cut it, it wanders off one side to the other. It won't cut straight. Okay, this guy, whenever you put it on, you have to max the adjuster almost out, brand new. So I was able to get maybe 1/4 of an inch of adjustment, and now it's maxed out. You can't adjust it any further. It's fully extended all the way forward. So you can see how much slop I've got in here. That, this is worthless now. So new bar and chain for that one is $100. New bar and chain for this one, $80. Taxes, $200. So I'm done with these Stihls. I just, I don't do this every day. Okay, and every time I'm done with my saws, I run them completely. I empty the tanks. And this works. I've done this for years. Completely empty both tanks, start it up, pull the trigger wide open till it runs completely out of gas, and then you're good to go. You can store this for I don't care how many years. Well, obviously there's a limit. The fuel hoses and everything will rot out after a certain amount of time, but you can just run it out of fuel, store it away. It'll be good to go next time you need it. So what's the other things I like about this saw versus a Stihl? Okay, well, when you go to take your cover off the side of a Stihl and many other ones, you got to take the nuts off. Sometimes you lose these bad boys, and then that really stinks. you'll notice everything's plastic here. Okay, even on this side, plastic. Well, to me that's cheap. Okay, look at the dog here, to bite the tree. Plastic, and it's not even really that, this thing never did bite very well. Well, check out the old Portland. This baby's got nice spike on there. You have to upgrade to a $500 saw to get that with the Stihl. Okay, it's got one on there. Another thing I like, guess what? These nuts are captured in the case. They don't come out. You're not going to lose them. Real nice. Another thing I like, the adjuster for the chain is on the side. On the Stihl, it's on the front. A little bit more of a pain to adjust that. Okay, but then check this out. Look at this, nice stainless. So this is all stainless here. Yeah, I know it's a plate, but you know what? There's more metal there than there was on the Stihl over there. Okay, so to me, that's better built. This clutch is real good. It's got a lot of surface area right there. So this thing bites really well. All right. Another thing I like about this guy is once it's warmed up, obviously you follow the starting procedure. Once it's cold, you're going to be the first time starting it up. But after this baby's warmed up, literally it's one pull every time, religiously. Now, the one thing that's a little bit weird to get used to is this spring assist recoil. It's a little bit different than a traditional chainsaw. This one you pull out and then the spring will pop it over real fast. But religiously though, every single time, one pull, boom, she's running again. Now I also like this. The air filter on this saw is very serviceable. And it's not a paper air filter. It's plastic, and it's got filtering on the top as well as the bottom. Okay, this thing you can just take you a little bit of gas or whatever, brake clean, whatever you're working with, carburetor cleaner. It's got a nice O-ring seal to that carburetor, and you just rinse this baby out and clean it up, and she's like brand new all over again. Okay, with your Stihls, they got a paper, well, I don't know if it's paper, some kind of fabric element in here, and not reusable. So you gotta change these babies out once in a while. And also, if you live in really cold climate, it does have an option here. See this little port window here? Take this guy and flip it around, and now it allows hot air from the engine to come into the carburetor, because whenever it's really cold out and snowing outside and you need to use a chainsaw, that's going to help it run better once it warms up. Now I know somebody's going to say, well, it's going to just suck all the air past the spark plug. Well, if you look right here, see that? This closes that off. When you put it back on there, this seals that area off, so no, it's not going to come past the spark plug. So there you go. I mean, to me, I really can't believe you get this much value, honestly, for 150 bucks. I just figured I'd take a shot in the dark. I was tired, I had this huge tree fall over here, and both of my chainsaws cutting like dog crap, and I had a choice. I wasn't going to buy aftermarket bar and chain again because they don't last, not like a Stihl does. I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I've had these saws for like 10 years, and it's always been a pain dealing with that. I'm like, crap, I can save 50 bucks, get a whole chainsaw, you know what I'm saying? And this thing went great, man. I broke it in when I got it. The book tells you to take the chain off, soak it in bar oil overnight. I did that. While the chain was soaking, I put a tank of gas in it, I cranked it, and just let it idle. idled a whole tank of gas out, broke it in. It didn't say you needed to do that, but I personally like to break in my engines when they're new. Whatever you do, that's your choice. That's your. Some people don't break them in. Whatever. That's up to you. But since then, I ran this saw all day from the morning time when I got up, and then probably about 10 to 12 tanks of fuel to chop up everything I chopped up there. And the saw ran great the whole time. Didn't miss a lick. Now, after all that cutting, filled up. I got a 6x10 dump trailer. I filled my dump trailer 10 times with the amount of stuff I cut off that tree. All with this saw. And the only thing now is the blade is finally dull. I got to sharpen it. That's it. So, to me, that's the best chainsaw you're going to buy. Especially for the price. And like I said, I'm sure somebody's out there is going to say, well, you're not going to be able to get parts and blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not true. You can get aftermarket stuff. You can call Harbor Freight. As long as you keep your manual, it's got the parts list in the back. You call Harbor Freight, tell them, hey, need an air filter, need a carburetor, I need a clutch, warm a clutch out. You give them that part number, you can order a new one. So, am I going to sit here and say that this saw is going to run every day out in the woods like a Stihl does? I don't know. I don't think I would make that claim. Not because I think it's a bad saw, just because, I know a Stihl will do it. I don't know if this will do it, but guess what? I'm not a lumberjack. I don't need to run this thing every day. I need to run this saw once or twice a year for a lot of cutting, when a tree falls down from a hurricane or something like that, and that's it. Then I drain all the gas, I put it away, and till next time. So I think that's the way most people do. I don't think most people drain their fuel out, which they should, but anyways, average person, this saw is going to do you fine. So there you go. There's my review. I like it a lot.